we're watching with some horror as these anti-abortion laws and anti-trans laws and anti-birth control is going to be coming, I predict, down the road in the former Confederate states, rolling along. On the line with us is Laurie Betram Roberts. Laurie is a member of the Mississippi Abortion Access Coalition, MAAC, and the executive director and co-founder of the Mississippi Reproductive Freedom Fund, msabortion.org, and msreprofreedomfund.org are the websites. MSAbortion on Twitter and Fund MS Abortions on Twitter as well. Laurie, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Long-time listener, first time appearing.
Oh, well, thank you. It's great to have you with us. So let's start with Mississippi. What's going on in Mississippi? What is the state of play here with all this wackadoodle right-wing legislation regulating women's bodies?
Yeah, currently we obviously already have an abortion ban. There are no abortion providers in the state. There's no abortion clinic left in the state. But on top of that, now they're trying to push a bill that they're calling abortion trafficking, which would criminalize anyone who helped a minor cross state lines to get a legal abortion in another state. They've been working on bills that would make it illegal for you to talk about to people, to be able to tell them to go out of state, to be able to do billboards, to be able to essentially do the work that we do on an everyday basis.
Wow. What are the chances of success for the bill banning travel out of state?
Pretty high.
That seems to me just like fundamentally unconstitutional. I mean, our right to travel, interstate travel, has been validated by the Supreme Court in the past. It's what possible rationalization do they have for that, and what's the enforcement mechanism?
Yeah, so they want to, of course, protect the kids, right? It's if you take a minor out of state without their parents' permission, then you could face a fine of $1,000 to $10,000 or up to 5 years in prison.
Whoa.
The problem is that not only that, there's a mechanism in one of the bills, because there's actually 3 bills that all do the same thing. But the one that they're really attached to makes it so the attorney general of the state can prosecute people on these grounds if the local prosecutor chooses not to.
How long do you think that the good citizens of Mississippi are going to tolerate this? I mean, isn't there a significant blowback happening?
It is. It's slow. It's been slow climbing. But I've always said the pendulum is going to swing back. And the question is how much harm is going to be done in that time before it does. So I definitely see that people are organizing. People are upset. A lot of people don't even know what's going on. So there's a lot of voter education that has to be done. Mm-hmm. And of course, we've got to work on voter disenfranchisement and voter suppression in our state, because it's very rampant.
Yeah, I can imagine. Tell me about the Mississippi Reproductive Freedom Fund that you are the co-founder and executive director of.
Yeah, that's my baby. So we were Mississippi's first abortion fund. We fund people going to access abortion care wherever they choose to go. We put money in their hands so that they can do what they need to do. We have a food pantry. We have a diaper closet. We help people who parent as well as people who choose not to parent, because often they're the same people. We have a free period supply closet. We give away condoms, Plan B, pregnancy tests, and ovulation tests. So we try to do a full range of reproductive justice work, not just abortion work.
That's marvelous. We're talking with Laurie Betram Roberts, who's the executive director and co-founder of the Mississippi Reproductive Freedom Fund and a member of the Mississippi Abortion Access Coalition. Tell me about the Mississippi Abortion Access Coalition.
Yeah, so I love the coalition because it's not just like 3 abortion funds sitting around talking about how to defend abortion rights. It's a coalition of like-minded folks who may not have a central focus in their work around abortion, but perhaps they have another reproductive justice-y kind of thing that they do, HIV/AIDS, birth justice. So it's really a way for all of us to come together around this issue and make sure that we're all on the same page. Everyone has the information to get out to folks, but they can get it to their networks. And so it's not just the abortion fund people talking about abortion. It's the birth justice people, it's clergy. It's a base of folks.
So what is the election going to look like this November in Mississippi? Is your governor up for re-election? Do you have any United States senators up for election? Is there going to be a ballot measure around abortion on the ballot? What's happening there?
Well, they got rid of our ballot initiative after we got medical marijuana. And right now they're talking about producing a new one, but it would ban doing a ballot initiative on abortion or or voting rights or
Wow.
Yeah.
So the legislature outlawed
us.
ballot initiatives.
Exactly. So they're scared of us. They're running scared.
Yeah.
The governor just got reelected last year.
Is that Tate Reeves?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We call him Tater. But like we don't have any currently. I can't think of any really exciting races that are going on.
Which probably means that there's not going to be a lot of political change in Mississippi as a result of this election.
Not yet.
Wow. Wow.
Change comes slow, though. You know, increments. I'm always hopeful.
I know. Well, it's only been, what, 170 years since the Civil War ended, or whatever, 130 years? Yeah.
True.
So
True.
we've been talking about Mississippi. How's the rest of, what about the adjoining states? What's the state of play there? And do you see any of the former Confederate states where abortion might be an issue that can push them from being red to purple or even blue?
I really think Georgia probably has. Georgia and Florida honestly have better chances of turning purple before like Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Because they already have strong organizing bases around getting out the vote for the left. So, and they also had quite a few abortion clinics. Like they've lost a few in Florida, but Florida is still a place where a lot of folks go to get their abortions. And so is Atlanta.
Although Florida, I believe both states have, Florida for sure has a 6-week abortion ban that's held in abeyance by the courts right now, isn't it?
Yep. And Georgia has a 6-week ban too.
Yeah.
And if people are early enough, they still travel there. I mean, it's Atlanta or Illinois for our people.
Yeah.
The thing is Louisiana doesn't look much different. I always said if Roe fell, then the entire South would become an abortion desert. And that's exactly what's happened. For the most part, every state in the Southeast no longer has abortion care.
Right. What's the status of IVF in Mississippi? We're talking with Laurie Bertram Roberts of the Mississippi Reproductive Freedom Fund.
Yeah, currently IVF is legal. We don't have any Alabama shenanigans going on yet. But I do want to, for people who follow these kinds of things, if you remember in 2011, Mississippi defeated the Personhood Amendment. It was a ballot initiative to make embryos equal to people. And we defeated it, not just a little bit, but we defeated it by like 17 points or something like that.
Whoa.
And so, I mean, it was almost like 60 to 30 something. It was a huge margin. So anyway, my point is that Mississippians have never wanted an abortion-free state, and they certainly don't want an IVF-free state.
All right.
And it's also counterintuitive. How do you say you want people to have children, you want people to make families, but you don't want them to make families with IVF? Right.
Yeah, which is weird. Particularly when you consider that Mike Pence had his children by IVF. There's been a couple of other high-profile Republicans who had IVF kids. It's incredible stuff. Laurie Bertram Roberts is the Mississippi Abortion Access Coalition and co-founder of the Mississippi Reproductive Freedom Fund. msreprofreedomfund.org is the website. Check it out. And fund MS Abortions on Twitter. Laurie, thank you so much for dropping by. It's great talking with you. Nice meeting you.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Great work you're doing.